God is stirring something inside you right now, something you cannot quite understand but you can definitely feel. It's the quiet pull in your chest, the sudden heaviness in your spirit, the unexplainable awareness that something in your life is shifting. You've been sensing it for days, maybe weeks, like an unseen truth sitting right behind the curtain, waiting for the moment God decides to pull it back. And today, God needs you to know something that might shake you, something that might confuse you at first, something that might even hurt for a moment, but in the end, it will bring you clarity, peace, and direction. God is saying, He loves you, but He's not who you think He is. That person you've been trusting, believing in, hoping for, or emotionally attaching yourself to, God is about to show you the truth of His intentions, the truth that has been hidden behind charm, words, promises, or a carefully crafted persona. God has watched the way your heart leaned toward Him. God has listened to the prayers you whispered about Him. God has seen the expectations you quietly built, the hopes you placed on Him, the future you thought might unfold. But God has also seen the parts you didn't see, the conversations you weren't present for, the choices He made when you weren't looking, the thoughts He kept behind the smile, the intentions He tucked beneath His behavior. And now God is stepping in because He refuses to let you walk blindly into something that could wound you, drain you, mislead you, or distract you from your divine path. You may not realize it, but God has been protecting you long before you knew you needed protection. You've been asking for guidance, for clarity, for signs, and sometimes you wondered if God was silent. But He wasn't. He was watching. He was waiting. He was aligning truth with timing, because certain truths cannot be revealed too early or too late. They must arrive at the exact moment your heart can handle them, your spirit can absorb them, and your destiny can benefit from them. Today is that moment. God sees the innocence of your trust. He sees the purity of your intentions. When you care for someone, you give deeply. When you love sincerely. When you hope fiercely. But not everyone carries the same heart as you. Not everyone reflects the same loyalty. Not everyone values you the way you value them, no matter how well they present themselves on the surface. And God is not exposing this to punish you or to embarrass you or to disappoint you, but to free you. To free your heart from staying attached to an illusion. To free your spirit from an emotional anchor that cannot support you. To free your future from being delayed by someone who cannot walk with you to where God is taking you next. You may think you know Him. You may think you've understood Him, figured Him out, or seen His soul. But God is whispering, you've only seen what He has shown you, not what He has hidden. There is more beneath the surface. And God is about to reveal it. Maybe you've been feeling uneasy around Him without knowing why. Maybe there have been inconsistencies, small remarks, sudden shifts, unexplained silences, hints that something doesn't fully align. Maybe your spirit has been nudging you, warning you, alerting you in subtle ways, a sudden discomfort during a conversation, a strange feeling after a message, a moment when his words didn't match his energy. That wasn't your imagination. That was God. God has been trying to get your attention. God has been trying to steer you away from emotional deception, even if it looked harmless or tempting. He's not showing you this truth to shame him or to make you angry or bitter, but to empower you. You deserve someone whose intentions are as real as yours. Someone whose words carry weight. Someone whose feelings are genuine, not convenient. Someone who doesn't act differently when you're not around. Someone who doesn't benefit from your kindness while offering you only selective honesty. God is revealing His intentions because the longer you stay blinded, the more it will cost you later, emotionally, spiritually, and even mentally. God would rather discomfort you now than see you broken later. There is a moment in life when God interrupts your path because the direction you were walking in wasn't the direction He had planned for you. And even though you might have wanted it, prayed for it, or imagined it, God loves you too much to let your heart get entangled with someone who doesn't carry the same truth, depth, or spiritual alignment that you deserve. This isn't about judgment, it's about spiritual protection. God sees what you cannot. He hears conversations you will never hear. He observes actions you will never witness. And because of that, He steps in with correction, redirection, and revelation. You may not like this at first. You might resist it. You might wonder. But why? Why would God show me this now? Why would He reveal something that changes everything? Because God knows you. He knows how deeply you feel. He knows how easily your heart attaches when it believes in something. He knows how you see the best in people, even when the worst is hidden. And He knows that if He doesn't pull you away now, you might walk into a future built on false expectations. God reveals intentions not to expose someone's flaws, but to protect your future from unnecessary pain. Your heart is precious to God. Your purpose is precious. Your time is precious. And God will not allow someone with unclear intentions to occupy space in your life when He has someone planned for you whose intentions will match their actions. There are people who enter your life wrapped in charm, sweetness, attention, and emotional warmth, but not all of them come with pure intentions. Some come because they enjoy the comfort of your presence, not because they value your soul. Some come because your energy feeds them, not because they intend to build with you. Some come because you are safe, kind, understanding, forgiving, but they do not plan to offer the same in return. And sometimes the person you think was sent to love you was only sent to teach you. Teach you boundaries. Teach you discernment. Teach you self-worth. Teach you that you must listen to God more than your emotions. It's painful to learn these lessons, but necessary. Because the version of you God is shaping cannot remain naive about people's intentions. God is not exposing him because he is evil. Most people are not evil. But intentions matter. Direction matters. Alignment matters. And God sees where this path would lead if he didn't intervene now. You've been praying for clarity without realizing that clarity sometimes comes in the form of truth you don't want to hear. But God will always show you what you need, not what you prefer. There are moments coming when you will look back and thank God for this revelation. It might not feel like that now. It might feel confusing or disappointing or emotionally heavy. But God is not taking anything away from you. He is protecting you from what would have taken something from you. God's revelations are not punishments. They are rescue missions. They are divine interventions. They are redirections disguised as disappointments. They are blessings wrapped in truth. The person you thought he was is not the person God has seen behind closed doors. The version you fell for was the version he wanted you to see. But God is dissolving that illusion because illusions cannot build a destiny. God needs you connected to people who strengthen your path, not distract you from it. People who speak truth, not half-truths. People who carry integrity, not convenience. People who love in action, not just words. People whose intentions match their behavior. What God is about to reveal may come through a moment of clarity. A sudden realization, a conversation you weren't expecting, an action that exposes the truth, or a shift in his behavior that shows you who he really is. It may come through something he says without realizing what he revealed. It may come through a situation that exposes how he truly feels. It may come through his silence, his distance, his inconsistency, his lack of effort, or his divided attention. Sometimes intentions are revealed not through what someone does, but through what they fail to do. And God will use all of it to show you the truth. God is removing the fog from your vision. He is separating your emotions from your discernment. He is strengthening your ability to see people as they are, not as you wish they were. This is preparation. This is maturity. This is elevation. Once the truth comes, your heart may feel the sting of disappointment. But that sting is temporary. The clarity that follows will be permanent. God is positioning you for something bigger than what this person could offer. You were praying for real love. You were praying for true alignment. You were praying for someone sent by God, not someone sent by convenience. And God cannot answer your prayer while allowing your heart to remain entangled with someone who is not aligned with the destiny He is preparing for you. He loves you, but He's not who you think He is. Means He may care for you, He may value you in His own limited way. He may enjoy your presence, but that does not mean He is capable of loving you the way your soul requires. Caring is not commitment. Attraction is not intention. Attention is not consistency. Words are not truth. And God is about to reveal which one of these has been guiding Him. There is something powerful that happens after God reveals a truth you were not expecting. At first, your heart tries to negotiate with the revelation, trying to make sense of what you feel versus what you believed. You replay moments, conversations, signs you ignored, things you brushed off, little inconsistencies that suddenly make perfect sense. It feels like pieces of a puzzle finally connecting, but the picture they create is not the one you hoped for. And yet, in that moment of clarity, there is also a strange, quiet strength that begins to rise in you, because deep down your spirit already knew something wasn't right. God is not revealing this to shock you, He is revealing what He already whispered to your intuition. You felt it long before you had words for it. You sensed it long before you had facts. You carried the discomfort silently, waiting for confirmation. And now God is giving it to you. He is not who you thought He was, not because He is a terrible person, but because you were seeing Him through your heart, not His reality. You saw the potential of who He could be, the softness He showed when He wanted to, the warmth He offered in selective moments. Your heart magnified the good, because your love is genuine. But God is saying it's time to see Him as He is, not as you imagined Him, not as you hoped He might become, not as the best version of Him you built inside your mind. God loves you too much to let you live inside a fantasy. God is not dismantling your feelings, He is dismantling the illusion that was preventing you from growing. Sometimes God doesn't show you someone's intentions because you're weak, but because you're strong. Because He knows once you see the truth, you will not run back to the lie. You will not settle for less than the love your soul deserves. You will not allow yourself to be bound to someone who cannot walk with you into the spiritual maturity God is forming within you. You are stepping into a higher version of yourself, and not everyone can rise with you. Some people were only meant to walk with a certain version of you, not the one you are becoming. In the coming days you will feel a shift that will seem almost supernatural. The emotional weight you were carrying will begin to lift. The confusion will start to fade. The fog around your heart will slowly clear. You will notice God making it easier to disconnect, easier to breathe, easier to see things logically rather than emotionally. And this is not because your feelings were fake, they were real. It's because God is healing you in real time. When God removes someone from your path, He also removes the emotional attachment that kept you tied to them. God doesn't just free your life, He frees your heart. You may notice that communication between you two slows down, or changes, or becomes distant. You may notice Him showing less effort, less interest, less consistency, because when God exposes intentions, He also exposes alignment. And once something is misaligned, it simply cannot remain stable. God may cause circumstances to shift so you can see the truth plainly, without confusion. Sometimes the person will reveal themselves by pulling away. Sometimes by reacting differently. Sometimes by choosing someone else, prioritizing something else, or showing you that you were never as important to them as they were to you. And though that hurts, it is also the clearest answer you could ever receive. Someone who truly belongs in your life will not make you guess. Someone who truly values you will not make you feel like an option. Someone who truly sees your worth will not treat your presence lightly. Do not grieve the loss of what was never solid. Do not mourn the future God never intended for you. The disappointment you feel now is only temporary. But the protection God is giving you is eternal. Every truth God reveals is connected to something He is preparing. God is not just removing someone, He is preparing you for someone whose intentions will not need to be questioned. Someone whose heart will be consistent, steady, transparent, and real. Someone who will not confuse your spirit, but bring peace to it. Someone whose presence will feel like clarity, not chaos. Someone who will love you the way God knew you deserved to be loved all along. There is a version of you God is birthing in this season that requires a clearer heart, a sharper mind, and a deeper discernment. That is why God is exposing intentions now. That is why He is ending emotional illusions. That is why He is separating you from anything that drains you, distracts you, or deceives you. What God does not approve, He will not allow to continue. What God does not bless, He will not let flourish. What God does not want you connected to, He will detach you from, whether gently or abruptly. You will soon realize this revelation is not a loss, it is a turning point. It is the moment God shifts your life away from emotional uncertainty toward divine alignment. It is the moment you stop trying to make someone fit into your destiny who was never built for it. It is the moment God says, "I love you too much to let you settle for this." Because you were not made for temporary affection. You were not made for half-hearted connections. You were not made to carry someone emotionally while they give you only fragments of themselves. Your heart is too big, too pure, too valuable for that. God has seen every tear you cried silently, every moment you felt overlooked, every time you tried to convince yourself that you were enough for Him, when the truth is, the right person will not need convincing, and when the right one comes, God will not have to reveal their intentions, because their intentions will reveal themselves. Their consistency will speak louder than His confusion. Their sincerity will overshadow His hesitation. Their actions will replace His excuses. You will not be left wondering whether you matter, you will know. You will feel it. You will see it. It will be undeniable. Until then, trust this revelation. Trust the pulling away. Trust the changes. Trust the shift. Trust the silence. Trust the ending if one comes. Nothing is happening against you. Everything is unfolding for you. God is clearing your path, cleansing your spirit, strengthening your heart, and guiding your steps towards something greater than what you are releasing, and when the truth fully unfolds, you will not break. You will rise. You will see why God allowed this moment. And you will understand that sometimes losing someone is not a loss, it is divine protection. There is a moment, quiet, steady, almost sacred, that comes after God has shown you the truth. It's the moment when the storm inside you begins to settle, when the confusion melts away, when the revelation no longer feels heavy but begins to feel like freedom. At first, truth feels like a wound. Later, it becomes a doorway. God never reveals something to destroy you, He reveals it to deliver you. And now that He has shown you who He really is, not who you imagined Him to be, something inside you is beginning to shift. You're not breaking, you're awakening. You're not losing, you're being redirected. You're not being abandoned, you're being aligned. The final phase of this revelation is not about Him anymore. It's about you. You have given love with sincerity, trust with purity, hope with depth. Your heart has never been the problem. Your loyalty has never been misplaced, it was simply given to someone who didn't know how to hold it. And instead of letting you stay in a place where your soul would remain misunderstood, undervalued, or misaligned, God stepped in. This wasn't rejection, it was protection. This wasn't the end of your story, it was the end of a chapter that was taking more from you than it was giving. What you don't realize yet is that this revelation is reshaping you. You're learning to see your worth not through someone else's treatment but through God's eyes. You're learning that someone's inability to love you deeply doesn't mean you're unworthy of deep love. You're learning that losing someone who cannot value your soul is not a loss, it is relief disguised as heartbreak. Not everything that hurts is harmful, sometimes it is healing that simply doesn't feel like healing yet. Soon, you will feel the emotional detachment settle into clarity. You'll notice that your heart doesn't ache the way it used to. The questions that kept you up at night will no longer have power over you. The longing will dissolve. The attachment will fade. The disappointment will be replaced with understanding. This is God's doing. He is untying emotional knots you didn't even know you had. You will begin to recognize that the version of love you held onto was based on hope, not reality. God is replacing false expectations with divine clarity. There will come a morning when you'll wake up and feel lighter, as if your soul just released something heavy it had been carrying for too long. You'll breathe differently. You'll see differently. You'll understand differently. And that is when you'll realize that God didn't remove him from your life to punish you. He removed him to make space for someone aligned with your future, not your past. Because the truth is this: God never closes a door without preparing another one. And the door he is preparing for you is not built on half commitments or unclear intentions. It is built on stability, mutual respect, and spiritual alignment. The person God has for you will not leave you guessing. They will not confuse you, walk in and out of your life, or offer you inconsistent affection. They will not admire your heart for their convenience and then fail to protect it. They will speak truth where others gave silence. They will give consistency where others gave confusion. They will stand firm where others shifted. They will see your worth without needing reminders. You won't need signs to know. You won't need confirmation. You won't need God to expose their intentions. Their intentions will be evident from the beginning. The way they love you will feel safe. Their presence will feel peaceful. Their consistency will feel refreshing. Their energy will feel familiar, as if God wrote their name into your destiny long before you met. And when that person arrives, everything you went through in this season will make sense. You will look back and understand why God removed what you once prayed so hard for. You will see that what you thought was love was just preparation for the love that was always meant for you. But before that person comes, there is one more work God is doing inside your heart. He is strengthening you. He is rebuilding you. He is teaching you to listen to your intuition, to trust your spirit, to pay attention to His whispers. He is training your discernment so you will never again fall for potential rather than truth. He is elevating your standards not out of pride, but out of self-respect and spiritual growth. He is teaching you that your heart is a precious place, and not everyone deserves access to it. He is teaching you to walk with your head high, not because you're arrogant, but because you finally understand your worth, and in this final stretch of transformation, God wants you to let go with grace. You don't need anger. You don't need resentment. You don't need bitterness toward Him or toward yourself. You didn't fail. You didn't misjudge. You didn't love wrong. You simply loved someone whose soul was not prepared to match yours. Release him with peace. Release the expectations. Release the imagined future. Release the hopes that no longer serve your spirit. When you release what was never meant for you, your hands become free to receive what God always intended. Soon, the memory of Him will no longer sting. The truth will no longer hurt. You will no longer wonder what could have been, because you will be too busy walking into what will be. And when God brings the right person, the one whose intentions align with their actions, the one who mirrors your sincerity, the one who comes with clarity instead of confusion, your heart will thank God for every disappointment that led you there. You are stepping into a season where God restores what people mishandled. A season where love will not be complicated. A season where intentions will not be hidden. A season where your heart will be understood without explanation. A season where God's timing will show you why His no was actually His protection, and His redirection was His love in disguise. He loves you, but He's not who you think He is. And that truth, rather than breaking you, is becoming the beginning of your becoming. You are being positioned for something greater, something purer, something divinely orchestrated. Let this chapter close gracefully, because what God is writing next is worth the wait. What is coming will make you understand why you had to walk through this revelation. What is coming will show you that God never subtracts without multiplying. What is coming will remind you that God's love for you has always been greater than your attachment to anyone else, and when you stand in that new season, with a healed heart, a clear mind, and a renewed spirit, you will whisper to yourself, God knew all along.